Hello, X here, and today, if you have not read the title, I am going to be starting up an NR2003 offline series. However, the series is going to be a lot different from other sign-up series. The series is going to be interactive, and by interactive, I mean you get to decide. You may be asking, well, how does this work? Okay, so there are two different roles in this series that in usual NR2003 sign-ups there aren't. First of all, the first role is driver, which you probably heard of before. I kind of know that you've heard of them before, which you might be thinking that's what you're coming here to do, but it's not the only option. In regular sign-up series, you get to see the cars that the user posts, you get to sign up for them, watch them race, etc. But in this season, you have to take control of what happens to that car. No, not race it, but design it and gain sponsorship and other things like that. The second category, though, is team manager. Yes, you can sign up to be the team captain and control a team. So the driver is basically Denny Hamlin, while the team manager is Joe Gibbs. You get it? So as a team manager, you will be making the big decisions, such as who races in your cars and how many cars do you have race, what cars have what things, and so and so. So before I get into this video, this is the main video for pretty much the entire series. You'll be here a lot for sponsorship rides, team manager slots, etc. Just a lot of stuff. I'll get more into what I mean later. Also, if anyone's interested in the amount of drivers or anything, you don't have to be. There's an infinite amount of drivers possible. Now, you might be thinking, well, that sounds a little bit much. Well, it won't be. I'll also get into more what that means in a second. Okay, so this video will be open for the entire season until the end, where it will close off for the season. Then, when the new season starts out, which there will be a second series, it'll be a new video, and you'll be able to sign up there. Anyway, so at the end of this season, like let's say we go into Homestead, it'll be the final race of the season. You can try to sign up and get into a ride at the very last race. I mean, it probably won't get you high in the point standings, but hey, it'll be fun getting in the final race. So, I'll get more into what I mean about a lot of that information in a second. As you see, this isn't exactly the normal sign-ups video, so I'll tell you now what you need to sign up for. First, for the driver, what you want to do is say in the comments below, driver, and then your name. No usernames, it's actually your first and last name. It could be fake, but please make it reasonable. Anyways, once you've done that, I'll put your name in a list in the comments section that says pending drivers. This is where you'll stay until you get hired by a team. For now, let's go over what the team manager needs to say and stuff. First of all, anyone can start up a team, but if you decide to be a team manager, you cannot race a car. Yes, you'll need to hire people to race for you. Anyways, here's the more detailed template in the description. This is a template for the team manager. Just copy and paste it in the comments box and remove the things in parentheses. Those are just to give you like an information bit on what they mean. Then, once you've done that, write out all the information that you have. I'll give an example a little bit after this. Anyways, after that, send a comment and I'll review it. And if I find it good, I'll put your team in the description under teams. If I do not accept the comment, I'll point out any errors and allow you to fix them. Now that your team is established, you wait for drivers to sign up for it. Note you may only have 4 teams. This means 4 cars and drivers driving for you. Now, back to you drivers. Once you see your name in the description, you can then request to join a team. However, now you'll have to fill out the easier template though. Down underneath the team manager template should be the driver template. Remove the parentheses the same way and fill out the information as it says. Once you're done, you can send the comment to the team manager, and instead of me reviewing it, the team manager will be doing all that. If the team manager accepts it, then he will notify me and I'll put it in the description. Here's an example situation. So here we have a YouTube account named NASCAR Racing Fan, and his name will be Daniel Smith. So I'll accept that. That's acceptable. I'll put him in pending drivers. However, we have another guy coming in. His name is Tim Rich, and he wants to become a team owner. So, Team Main will become In Between Motorsports, and as you see, there's a lot of stuff that says none or none so far. A lot of it's kind of like, whoa, what's that? I'll get into most of that. I'll get all of it in a second. But you see, owner Tim Rich, team name In Between Motorsports. Drivers, there in teams there should be none so far because you've not hired anyone yet. The manufacturer, it could be any in the description. There will be multiple others than the regular default Ford, Chevy, Toyota, and Dodge. So yeah, you can look at that. Numbers, there's two sections for the numbers. One is what numbers do your drivers have. That's also should be none for now. But then you can also specify what numbers they must be. Like you can make a restriction on what you want the numbers to be. Like here it says 1, 11, 8, and 88. That means when you sign up, you have to pick one of those numbers. Style and sponsors we'll go over later, as well as profits. But those should all be right there as well. The only real thing that you should be altering right now when you first sign up is the owner, the team name, and if you want the style and the second part of the numbers. Other than that, and the manufacturer. Other than that, everything should remain default here. And now, so Daniel Smith sees this team and he says, I want to join them. So now he's going to do the template and pretty much alter everything here except for the sponsors. Driver Daniel Smith, team name In Between Motorsports, and the number up there must be 1, 11, 8, and 88. Well, he has to pick one of those, so he picked 11. That's acceptable. And sponsors should be none since he hasn't made any yet. I'll go more into detail on that. In Between Motorsports will then accept the request, I guess I'll say it, and then the team roster will be updated, and now you'll see some stuff that's different. You see the same thing with owner, team name, manufacturer, profits, and sponsors, and style. But drivers, teams, and numbers are all different now. So drivers, you'll see Daniel Smith, and that's basically who's driving for you in name version. Teams, you only have one team driving for you, and the numbers, you'll have number 11 is also driving for you, and then the must be will be taken off that list. And so yeah, that's pretty much the first part of what you need to know about this season. Oh, and a little side note, this is before a race, so to make a car, that profit will go down. I'll get more into what that means in a second. Now, this may come as a bit of a surprise, but there's also money in this. No, not real money, but money for the series. Now, once you've opened up a team, you start out with $10,000. However, you have to use that very wisely. It takes $2,500 to make a car. So if you wreck 4 cars and don't have any way of making money, you're broke and can't race anymore. Once your team loses funds, the driver will go back to pending drivers category looking for a ride, and the team owner will now have to wait out the year to be able to do either two things. He can restart his team again, or he could just go into the pending drivers category, say screw it, and become a driver. Now, an example of this is Swan Racing. They were an underfunded team in 2013 and scheduled to come back in 2014. However, they decided to stretch the team and move their one team into making 2, making them pay double the money for the 2 teams. In the middle of the season, they couldn't keep their teams and ended up going under. That's not what you want to do. It's a matter of limiting your money. What you want to do, you want to get 4 teams right off the bat. But since our first race will be Daytona, that's not exactly the best option. I'll go more into that in the tips and tricks part of this video, which will be a lot later towards the end. So, how can you make money? Well, one way is to win. Obviously, you get a lot for winning, and in this season you will get $7,500 for winning. That's enough to pay back the money that you made for the one car, and enough for 2 other cars as well. So you definitely want to win, because it's nice to have that $7,500 in your pocket after a race, just for one car team. But number 2 is a lot more profitable money maker, even though it gives you less money. Sponsors. Yes, you saw this coming. Sponsors will back you up. Now, what you need to know about sponsors, I'll be dishing out the sponsors, and let's just say a sponsor likes your running at a track. Let's say you finish first at Daytona. Actually, hold on, I'll get into that later. So let's say you win the very first race. A sponsor might be interested in sponsoring your car. Now this is good. It will pay you a certain amount to be in the car and everything will be cool. Now imagine if you got 17 other sponsors wanting to come aboard as well. Then they all pay the same for the next race and being on the car. And there you go. You just got money from 18 different sources. You see how just a little bit of money can also make a big difference? Yeah, all those 18 people paying you like $500. I'm not a human calculator. So if you're a team manager, you might want to check your private messages for PM from me saying you got a sponsor. Oh, and for anyone concerned about these sponsors, no, real companies are not sponsoring your cars. It's an all-fun, non-profitable offline racing series. Anyways, now let's go on to the example. So as you see here, Daniel Smith will get first place at Daytona. And let's say Pennzoil sees his success, me, and I'll send a letter to In Between Motorsports from Pennzoil, and I'll say we want to sponsor your car for Richmond, which will be a race towards the end of the season, and we want to sponsor your hood and quarter panel. We'll pay you $500 for it. In between Motorsports, all you have to do is say okay before the race, and the sponsor gets confirmed and is ready to be put on the car. We'll go more into what that means later. And here's the team template. It will be updated yet again. You see the owner will be Team Rich, and then team name, same things, as well as drivers, teams, manufacturer, numbers, and style. But now, we obviously won the $75,000. No, the $7,500, excuse me, from winning the race, so we'll also be up by that much. And the sponsors, you see, has also changed. Now we have Pennzoil in that sponsors category. So now as drivers, you see down right below that, driver will actually now have something in the sponsors category as well, and that's Pennzoil right there. So then, let's say when we move on to Richmond, let's just take an example that this is the second race of the season. Daniel Smith finishes Richmond first again, wins another $7,500, and then $500 as well from Pennzoil. So now here's your updated team roster, and Pennzoil still is sponsor, but now your profits have rocketed up a lot now. And yeah, the drivers stay the same as well. So you can see how much money you can get since he didn't wreck and had to pay another $2,500. Yeah, your profits can go up a lot. Maybe you can even open up to a second team. Okay, so now we move on. I know you all want customization, right? Well, unlike other series, you can. For stars, if you have to have gotten into a team already and is ready to race. So now you want to customize your car, like put designs on it, right? Now there are only two restrictions. One, no offensive language or themes. Yeah, I'm keeping the series clean, so it should be simple enough. And two, it's alright with your team manager. Now let's go into back to the team template. Now, in the team template, you should see style. Now that style is for your customization. Let's go to real life here and let's take an example. Front Row Motorsports, I always see, has this kind of I don't know what to call it, bar halfway down the side, goes all the way up to the front, and goes back to the rear wheel. And it's a reoccurring theme. Well, that's what style means in this series. If your team manager says he wants to make a specific style, he'll put yes and then put like a detailed comment next to it saying what the style is. Now, if you sign up for the team, you're committing to saying that style, and it says that style's there. Well, you have to go by it. So and it's no exceptions. The team manager is the boss here. He gets to say if he wants a team style, he gets to have the team style. But if it says none, like up in the template above, in the example above, you're alright to make your car look whatever you like. However, you do that, you give me a detailed comment about what you want to make your car look like. I'll try my best to make it look the way you say, but let me be clear, it is a comment, and I might not make it right the first time. So make it detailed, because I do not want to have to sit around and try to make your car 26 different times because you said, I want an arrow, green arrow with red outline and other stuff on it. No, and you actually wanted to have like flames going down the side and a bar going down the middle. Make it detailed, because I really have, there's other people too out here. You're not the only person here. So I'll give you 3 chances, including the first one, just because you may have forgotten something or you just wanted to add something. And that should be pretty much self-explanatory. Now in the description, there will be your team and everything there, but there's also sponsors. Now the sponsors will have details of what they're part of, like is it on the hood or deck lid, as you saw in the example. So let's say Pennzoil wanted to be on the hood and quarter panel, and they say that they want to sponsor Richmond, which he had. Here's an example of what that is. As you see, sponsors Pennzoil, and then hood and quarter panel, so you know exactly where they're sponsoring for the race. So if you're Daniel Smith, that means Pennzoil is sponsoring your car for Richmond on the hood and quarter panel. That means that if you're giving the scheme comment, you'll have to request the details of the sponsor in there as well. So if you're Daniel Smith and you're like, I want Walmart to sponsor every single place on my car, yeah, I won't allow it. One, because it's incredibly vague. I don't know where, like, I'm just going to put multiple Walmart logos just every single place I can on your car. And 2, you don't even have Walmart as a sponsor yet. So, yeah, of course I won't allow it. Also, side note, 2 custom schemes per driver, except there are only 2 ways to get 2 more custom schemes. Now, the first one is pretty obvious, subscribe. I like all my subscribers, I always subscribe to them, so if you're looking for subscribers, just subscribe to me. I'll give you a nice little subscribe. It's just to say thanks. And so yeah, it's just a simple click. You need to make sure that you show your subscriptions publicly, because if I don't, I can't really. I have about 140. No, I have about. Well, that's not officially, but I have about 110 I believe right now. Thank you all so much for subscribing. It also, but out of those 110, I only see about like 80, and so that those 30 people, they have their subscriptions publicly turned off, so I won't be able to see them that they have their subscription, and I can't really believe them. So I'm gonna have to not allow them to make a 3rd paint scheme. And so yeah, you gotta make sure that you subscribe to get an extra paint scheme. Now the second one as well, you can get a 4th paint scheme too. Now this is for later. You have to commit to 2nd year to the series. This series will have 2nd season, so if you rejoin next season, you'll be rewarded with a 3rd paint scheme option, or if you already did the first one, it'll be a 4th one. So that means you have a maximum of 4 if you do both of them. And both of those should be simple enough. 1, you just gotta subscribe, and 2, you just gotta come back for another season. Which, if you like it, and I hope you do, that shouldn't be that much of a problem at all. And another side note, I'm a strong patron of the United States of America, and I love it when drivers bring out the cool red, white, and blue paint schemes for Daytona in July, so I'm going to mimic that. The Coke Zero 400, for every in that race of my season, I will make your car for you. And don't worry, I'm not going to change the style of it. I'm just going to red, white, and bluify it, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. I'll still keep your sponsors that are going to be going for that race and everything like that. So yeah, that's the only race that I will be actually making your car for you, just for reminder. Now here's some tips for your team managers and drivers. First come drivers will be counted as veterans, and they will do better than drivers that come in later. And how I do that is just by stats. Let's say Daniel Smith was the first driver in pending drivers. Well, then a guy named Stephen King comes along and is the 32nd driver in the pending drivers list. He'll be counted, well, as a rookie, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. And Daniel will be counted as a veteran. Also, subscribing helps out too. Wink, wink. Not only for a 3rd paint scheme. Now, team managers, if you have an inactive driver who hasn't made any activity for a while, I'd recommend dumping him because you don't need the dead weight. because you have to have your driver make the paint scheme, which involves putting the sponsor on the paint scheme. So I let that driver go after a while if he's like not active or anything. And drivers, if you're going active a while because you're on vacation or something, it would be best to notify your team manager first, and maybe we can figure out some deal where he can make your car for you for the time being, because you could be missing out on a lot of sponsorship deals, and I don't know, but you'd better tell your team manager first, just in case it's a long trip, you won't have internet or something like that, because you never know what's going to happen. Also, if you're a startup team, I don't recommend making 4 teams like I said before. It has a high chance of failure, so maybe 1 or 2 for starters, and then when you make money, start upgrading to 3. And if you're at the top of the sport and have like your 3 drivers all running in the front consistently every race and have a load of money, probably 4. I mean, why not, really? Okay, so I just want to give you a rundown of everything here. Just for clarification, if you're watching this video and want to be a driver, put your name down in the comments. For team manager, you copy the template in the description, fill out the information in the team manager, and you'll get accepted. You'll see your team in the description, and if you're a driver, you'll get accepted and see your name in the description underneath pending drivers. You can then go ahead to send a request to join the team. If accepted, you'll join the team and get removed from pending drivers. And the team, you'll have to review what they want from you and go by it at all times because they're the boss. If custom styles are welcome, send me a maximum of 3 comments stating on what you want the car to look like, including if you have sponsored contracts. Only 2 custom paint schemes per user unless you rank up. Also, look in your inbox or where your team manager gets in contact with you, and check for updates regularly. As team manager, look in your inbox where I contact you for updates on your team, sponsorship, and any other comments I have. And that's pretty much it. So now I hope you all are well informed on how this works and how you kind of got to stay up on this. If you don't, you could easily let maybe a sponsorship deal slip by or an opening in the best team of the sport go away. So I wish you all luck, and that this made pretty good sense, I guess. And yeah, look in the description for all the current teams and drivers in the series right now. And let's say if it's the 16th race in the season already. Well, if you're just seeing this now, don't fret. You still have a chance at getting in it. You just might not have as good of a chance as people who signed up when it first came out, though, like right now. So yeah, try to join a team and see if you can get some races racked up and get higher into the series. And so yeah, I'll also post any updates in the series or anything I forgot in this video in the description. So yeah, I'll see you all later, and expect a race up in 1 month. If it isn't then I'm busy with all the paint schemes that I have to accomplish. Hopefully they're not over 3 requests, because that's gonna suck. So anyways, bye guys, and hopefully it did not sound like that I was reading from a text document, because I totally was.